I'm going to pull up the old ARK Innovation ETF, and I'm going to actually just say out loud what a comically bad investor I think Cathie Wood and the ARK Innovation ETF actually is. Here is the ARK Innovation ETF. Back about 2-3 years ago, people used to ask me constantly, why am I not using this instead of the underlying NASDAQ? Of course, we'd be better off using the ARK Innovation, right? Just sub out the QLD and have one of the world's greatest investors, Cathie Wood, take over the position for us. And I've always just laughed at this. I even went through a live stream ages ago. When was this one? I remember it was a long time ago. Here it is. Episode 11. This was made April 24th, 2021. I basically pointed out how awful the ARK Innovation ETF will be going forward. For the first 7 years of its existence, it underperformed its benchmark. This is not good at all. To take on that kind of risk, you can see the same pattern happening. During bad periods, it's worse. During good periods, of course, a blindfolded monkey could have done well in 2017. So she did okay and it recovered and then it crashes back down. This whole thing can be chalked up to one single good year. 8 months after the pandemic, it had a monster return. But I definitely pointed out that in the future, this thing is going to be terrible. And you can see what's happened here. Max drawdown, almost 82%. It's still 237% away from breaking even. It's going to be forever until this thing breaks even. If people thought the QLD was bad, 42% away, I'm sorry, but Cathie Wood could be a lifetime away. Now, the problem with her is she really only became popular after the run-up. So this is why I'm actually saying she very well could be quantifiably one of the worst investors of all time, because that's when the money started rolling into the fund. Massive run-up all the way to 28 billion in assets under management, and she absolutely lit it on fire. Where are we at now? It's back down to 8 billion. Don't ask me in the comment section why there's still 8 billion. I have no idea why there is more than $1 in that fund. It should be scuttled and shut down and laughed at for eternity. But for some reason, she's still all over the news talking about how her fund's going to make 50% a year going forward and everything's great and it's just innovation and disruption and you have no idea, you'll see. Okay, well, you better make 50% a year going forward and it'll still be 4 years before you break even if you follow through with that promise. I just think it's absolutely embarrassing. And the worst part about it is that this is fairly rampant across the financial industry. And this is one of the reasons why people hate the financial industry so much. For you, the proverbial you out there, the investor, you lost 80% of your money. And surely you pulled the plug. I mean, there's very few people who have the risk tolerance to say, yeah, I still trust her. I think it's fine. No, you don't. It drew down that much money and they lose their money. But does she? No, she's still worth $250 million. She probably lives in a mansion with a view that you wouldn't even believe how beautiful it is. Does she have to give back her houses that she bought? No, of course not. She still gets those fees rolling in. She lit $20 billion of investor capital on fire, but she still gets to live where she lives. Anybody who followed her with conviction, of course, they're going to have to downsize their life. We socialize her losses by basically just constant dreams of not only asset management fees, but just television spots left and right, still to this day, calling her the magical investor. It's really terrible. And she's not the only example, but it's a pretty bad one. And, 2.5 years ago, I called this. I said, look, you can look at the holdings in this portfolio. All she has done is just levered up all the shit beta names that she can find. And yeah, sure, in a good period, it'll go up. But apparently with all her people working for her that no doubt have PhDs from MIT and, Wharton PhDs, apparently they didn't understand that drawdowns cost the fund a lot more than the gains actually help it. Again, same problem as before. It probably would have been beneficial if somebody explained this to them a long time ago, that sure, you can buy all the names that are going to run up insane amounts when it's a pure bull market and everybody's thrilled. But what's going to happen when you suffer an 80% drawdown? You're going to be 400% away from breaking even. It's going to take the rest of your life to chip that back. Playing with leverage, playing with these big names, the unfortunate reality of the situation, and I see the same thing in the volatility space. The people who gain popularity are the ones that are talking about selling naked calls. People think that stuff's great until you're going to follow them right off a cliff. You're going to turn around and say, well, hold on a second. You said that everything was safe. You said that I was able to hedge it. When that terrible event finally happens, I'm just going to be able to hedge, or I'm going to have money on the sidelines ready to deploy and defend my positions. No, you're not. It's going to totally blow up in your face. And then what's going to happen? Does that person have to give back all of the gains that they made in their popularity and selling their courses? No, they don't. They get to keep their beautiful view with their big house. And the people that followed them, of course, reality sets in very hard for those people. So I'm always going to be the person that is against those people in the financial industry that is just comically ignorant when it comes to risk management. And Cathie Wood, I'm fairly comfortable saying is one of the world's worst investors, but still managing $8 billion. And here I am. What am I managing? A small community of people, but I know a whole lot more than Cathie Wood does about risk management. That's for sure. Ordinarily, because I'm a really polite Canadian and I don't like to insult people and I don't get into online beef, I don't really have any haters. Ordinarily, I would say, oh, sorry, I was a little bit harsh. But in this case, I want to say a lot more. Risk is only fun during the bull market. That is not going to be a whole lot of fun when the wheels come off and the reality sets in. Oh, wow, they didn't have any idea what they were doing. They were just talking about big risk, $7 trillion of capital injected into the market. It makes a lot of people look like pretty good investors. But unfortunately, no, they don't know the first thing about risk management. Hopefully people listened to me 2.5 years ago during that live stream and didn't jump on the ARK train.